Hello, everyone. I'm Sheldon Barlett-Rumor, and this is it. Welcome back to This Is It TV. Thanks to our friends at Navo Philadelphia, we are meeting some amazing new people. We'd love for our next guest to introduce herself, first and last name, and the name of the business.
Hello, I'm Maria Baseggio, and my business is SAGE Insights.
Okay, now we are going to get insightful. I feel like we are,
Yes,
right?
we are.
Okay,
Absolutely.
fair. Tell me the nature of your business.
Well, I'm an EOS implementer. So what that means is that I've been certified by EOS Worldwide to help leadership teams of small and mid-sized businesses implement what's called the entrepreneurial operating system for their business. So it's really helping them figure out where they want to take their business, how they're going to get there, and build the right kind of team to really drive that execution of the strategy.
I absolutely love that. I've met so many people, and so often team members think because they're not the actual leader that they don't need leadership skills.
Oh, gosh.
Right?
Yes,
They're like, I
yes.
don't run the department. No one directly reports to me. Do I need leadership skills? What is your answer to that?
Everyone needs leadership
Everybody
skills, and
needs
everyone
leadership
even needs management skills too.
Yeah.
So not only I work with the leadership teams primarily, but
Yeah.
I've sometimes worked with their mid-managers in giving them a workshop on leadership and management skills, and to help them understand the difference, because there is a variance between being a good leader and being a good manager.
Wow. And you navigate, or assist them in navigating through those conversations, right?
The system navigates through those conversations,
Okay.
but it also really focuses on 6 key components of the business.
Okay.
So it focuses on the vision component to make sure that the leadership team is fully aligned on where they're taking the company, how are they going to get there.
Yeah.
The people component to help them build a structure to take them forward, not just to sit where they are today, and to help them find out how can they get the right people in the right seats. Then it also focuses on the data component that helps them determine what numbers do we need to be looking at every week to make sure we have a finger on the pulse of how the business is doing, and to make sure it's headed in the right direction. And then when it's not, we have that issues component that helps them solve issues instead of just having that great 20 or 30-minute conversation in a meeting and everybody leaving, never deciding what are we going to do about it. So they discuss it at the next 2 or 3 meetings again and still no resolution. And then the 5th component is a process component where they just systemize their business. They get it documented so everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing. And the last component, to me, is really key. It's the traction component. And we always say, vision without traction is hallucination. Why bother investing in creating a vision if you're not going to put the energy and drive the discipline throughout the whole organization to get everybody on the same page so they know what their contributions are to successfully executing that vision. So that's what I help the leadership teams do.
First of all, there's so much there that I want to dive into. So much there. I think that we always say on the show, you don't know what you don't know, right? And I think that even in the leadership roles in particular, or in the management roles in particular, you're like, I've gotten so far, I have a certain skill set, but there's always more that you need to learn.
Yes.
There's always not only, I loved what you said about the traction, being able to track what you're doing, not necessarily just doing, right? But being able to see, is this working, right? You implement systems and you let the systems run, but a lot of times people aren't checking back to see, is this system that I implemented actually working? There's so much there.
Well, there is so much there, and to make sure that they do actually make that progress on executing their vision. What we do is I work with leadership teams on a quarterly basis. So I'm holding them accountable every quarter. Did you meet the priorities? Did you complete the priorities you set for the last quarter? How are you doing on hitting your financial targets? And let's set some new ones for the next quarter. But in the meantime, that leadership team is meeting every week together, same day, same time of each week, for 90 minutes to work on the business. So in that 90 minutes, they're tracking their progress on their priorities and on their measurements, but they're spending a good 60 minutes solving issues.
Actually solving issues.
And then they're taking that same concept, and they're having, each of them is working with their department to have a weekly meeting to focus on progress and to focus on solving issues. So that's how we get everyone throughout the entire organization really driving to executing that vision.
The intention is so clear. And I think that oftentimes, I know all of us that are out there that have meetings for meetings. I know you, right? You have meetings for meetings, and that poor, sad document agenda that is the same every single time, and there's no progress, there's no evolution in what's being done. You're just talking about it over and over again. It sounds like that is not the case with the systems that you have in place.
It's not the case. And as a matter of fact, while they're reviewing their progress, if something's off track, it drops down to the issues list. And they all identify, why are we off track on that? The other interesting point is that in my very first meeting, that's where I introduced this concept to my leadership teams of having the weekly meetings. And I always get
Yeah.
that, oh, not another meeting.
Not another
Not
meeting,
another meeting,
right.
Yes. Well, recently, one of my
Yeah.
clients sent me an endorsement. Guess what the focus was for endorsement?
Tell me.
Weekly meetings.
Weekly meetings.
The fact that before they started working with me, they couldn't even get themselves together as a leadership team to meet once a month. Now they're meeting regularly for these weekly meetings, and they find that they are so productive, it's keeping them from needing to have other meetings that are not as productive.
I
So we
absolutely love that.
Mm-hmm.
I loved what you mentioned also about not only the leadership team, but giving them the tools for that all to trickle down.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because I think that, again, you have a great leadership team. They work together well.
They
But
do.
are they communicating with everyone else who actually has to do the day-to-day types of scenarios? Tell me a little bit about that and the importance of that for you.
It's very critical. So in the beginning, again, the leadership team, we're determining where they're taking the company and the plans to get there and so forth. But these tools, because they're not overcomplicated tools, they're really very practical, real-world tools.
Yeah.
They're easy for everyone at all levels to use. So
Okay.
I get them comfortable with the tools, and then once they feel that they've really kind of mastered those tools, now they start to use those tools to take that same process
Yeah.
and leverage those same tools with their teams.
Yeah.
So now the marketing department is using the tools, the sales department, the operations departments, and it's just making some terrific difference. And the other thing that I think is a great benefit is how many times do leadership teams know where the company's going, but the rest of the organization doesn't?
100. I mean, so often.
So not only does this process and these tools help everyone understand where they're going
Yeah.
and what their contribution is, but we also have our leadership teams make sure that every quarter they're updating the entire organization on where have you been, where are you, and where are you going.
Wow.
So it's an open,
Huge.
transparent environment.
Such a sense of transparency, which is necessary if you're working in any prong of the team, right?
Exactly,
In
yes.
knowing what the goals and objectives are, why your managers, why your leaders are doing what they're doing, because there's an end goal in
Right,
place.
right.
I absolutely love this, and I know so many people out there would love to work with you. Tell me the types of people that you work with and the level of, and the size of the companies and the size of the leadership teams. What are the soft spot for you?
So the sweet spot for me is really 10 to 250 employees.
Okay.
Doesn't matter what industry. I
Okay.
have clients from all industries.
Right.
I've worked in the flooring construction business.
Right.
I've worked with mechanical engineers, civil engineers, software
Wow.
development companies, digital marketing, mail distribution, just
Wow.
a lot of different types of companies and all that. So
Yeah.
it's really industry agnostic, but the sweet spot's 10 to 250 employees,
Right.
open-minded, ready for change, ready to go
love that.
forward. And leadership teams, I actually
Yeah.
have a leadership team that's as small as 2, but then I
Really?
have some that are 7. So it just
Wow.
depends. But really, over 7,
Yeah.
that leadership team needs to reevaluate. Is that really the right size leadership team? Because
Right.
it's not just EOS that tries to stay on the principle of, somewhere between 3 to 7, just
Yeah.
in general for not just the size of leadership team, but
Right.
the priorities and so forth that you're
Yeah.
setting each quarter. But I know that in my former life, when I was in
Yeah.
the corporate world, there were some HR best practices that said past 7, it just gets a
Right.
little bit
Like, what is
difficult
are we
to
getting
manage.
are we
Yes.
productive? Are we
Right.
productive in that
Right.
space? I think it's interesting for the 100 to 200 people because again, that's when a lot of things get lost in the trickle down
It
of
does.
things, which
It
I think
does.
this is wonderful. I am thrilled that you joined me today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh my
I truly
gosh.
appreciate it.
Of course. I mean, I think that there's so much that out there, folks, that don't know or how to navigate the space. They think, I'm not a leader. I'm not in, how could I possibly have these conversations? They're having meetings for meetings. So we're going to make sure that that no longer is the case.
That's right.
But I want, if people out there want to get in touch with you, if they're in that sweet spot for you and they want to bring you in order for you to help navigate those conversations in leadership and management, where would they get in touch with you?
So it's very easy to get in touch with me.
Okay.
I'm certainly, of course, on LinkedIn,
Of
but my
course.
website is sageinsightsllc.com. Very simple, sageinsightsllc.com. My name's a little bit more complicated
Okay.
to spell,
That's
but
okay.
it's just Baseggio at sageinsightsllc.com. But maybe an easier way is my
Yeah.
phone number, 610-517-8785. Would like to try to talk to you about how you can get what you want from your business with EOS.
Oh, I absolutely love this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sheldon.
That was beyond insightful.
Thank you.
Oh, I
Thank you.
absolutely love. How wonderful was that, Taquan? From all of us here at This Is It TV, I'm Sheldon Bartlett Rumor. Thanks to our friends at Nabo Philadelphia. We'll be right back. Take care.